Alright, so I've been talking about a lot of horror movies this month, trying to cram out as many as I can. Why not talk about the grandmother of all horror, Psycho? Psycho is directed by Alfred Hitchcock, the master, and it stars Janet Leigh, Anthony Perkins, and is the story of this woman, Marion Crane. She's got a shitty job and she wants to make a change, so she decides to steal a bunch of fucking money from her boss, and she's on the run. She stops at a motel, meets Norman Bates, played by Anthony Perkins, and he's very interesting, has a cool relationship with his mother, to say the least, and I don't want to go any further than that. God forbid you are someone who hasn't seen Psycho. God forbid. I would not want to be the one to ruin it for you. If it hasn't been ruined, and you live in this internet age, that's amazing. Go watch it right now. Sincerely, stop what you're doing, put it on and watch it. You'll thank me later. Don't put on the remake. Don't you do it. This movie, Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock, one of his masterpieces. And I have the Alfred Hitchcock Masterpiece Collection, if you'll give me a second. Come over here. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Hitchcock. I haven't seen all his stuff, but I'm searching more and more trying to find Hitchcock movies. The guy was damn good, and I actually want to talk about some of the other ones in here in another video, because he has Rear Window and The Birds, and I want to talk about those also, because those are also some great horror, suspense, thriller movies. I definitely want to talk about those too, but for now it's Psycho, and Janet Leigh, Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, FYI, yeah, she's amazing in this. She's really, really good. A great protagonist. And there's a great wrinkle to her character arc and stuff. It's the little thing they do is genius, but her performance is really good. She's great. There's just a lot of scenes of her driving in a car in the rain, and you get so much off her from just like little looks and stuff. She's really good, and she really captivates. This movie with a poor actress or just not as good of an actress might have been dull, but Hitchcock greatly directed, and her as the character, it's all about her for like the first 50 minutes. Captivating, really enjoyable. You care about her character. She's great. She keeps you invested. Then when we finally get Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, again, captivating, awesome, a legendary performance. Just really, this character, you know, he's classic for a reason. He's so good. All his little tics. They have a great scene in his little motel. It's a motel, not a hotel. Hotels go up, motels go this way. That makes sense. They're talking in the office and there's all this taxidermy and stuff. A boy's best friend is his mother, and oh god, just so many scenes. And then when the movie flips on its head for sure, and really, I feel silly trying not to spoil this, god. But yeah, when it goes on its head and then we get some new characters and it goes in a new direction, it's really damn good. The scene, it's legendary for a reason. If you know Psycho, you probably know the shower scene. And at this point, I feel kind of silly trying not to spoil it, so yeah, if you haven't seen it and you're stuck around, go watch it right now. I'm telling you, go watch it. But now it's spoilery time to just get into it, because this movie's really damn old. Let's talk about all the iconic shit, okay? The shower scene. It's amazing. It went down in history for a reason. It's so raw and just, it's like creepy and scary, and definitely back in the 60s it would have scared the shit out of you because they didn't have something like this. But you notice it's like she's in the shower and then that creepy silhouette's coming up behind her, and then but it's like we don't actually ever really see her getting stabbed or anything. It's just really quick cut, so it's just her reacting and then the stabbing, and you never see her actually get stabbed. And that great shot when she's dying, and it's basically the life leaving her eyes as it goes to the bathroom drain thing. That's what they're called, the drain. Yeah, but yeah, that's a really good shot. And then from there, so many great scenes. Norman at that point, like the whole disposing of the body, putting it in the swamp, the investigators coming in, like trying to figure out what happened to her, where'd she go, where all that goes. The scene on the stairs, again, just great stabbing scenes. And then the whole climax after eventually they figure it out. It's like, oh shit, Norman's mom's been dead for a long time. He killed her with a shovel, no less. And now he has a split personality thing where he just forgets what's going on. He turns into his mom, dresses up as her, and kills people. Like, that's such a great twist. I can imagine, like, I'm trying to think, when I first saw this, did I know all the things? I think I knew about the shower scene, but it's like throughout the movie kind of glossed over and I forgot about it. But like, that twist is so good. I can imagine being back in the 60s and having your mind just blown all over the theater. Like, what did they do in this movie? This is crazy. And this movie is so great. The direction, all the camera angles, editing, acting, the music, Bernard Herrmann's music. It's on my iPod. I got it. But everything about it was so good. It's an iconic, legendary movie. And it's so funny to think, the making of this movie, they made like... Hitchcock, starring Anthony Hopkins, was all about how this movie, they didn't want it made. They were like, this is controversial, it's the 60s, no way, sir, you shall not show a toilet flush on film. Like, there's so many things where it was so much of a fight to not have this movie made and going against it, to realize this movie became one of the biggest movies of all time. It's just funny how that works. And real quick, I just want to comment on the sequels. I will say, this movie's legendary. It's one of the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Hitchcock, legendary. But the sequels, I will say Psycho 2. If you haven't seen it, I actually think you should check it out. It's not a Hitchcock movie by any means, but it's actually a good, very interesting follow-up to Psycho. It goes in a neat direction, and I appreciate it. It's not nearly as good as Psycho. But if you're gonna do a sequel, in a way, it's like, this is actually admirable. I like what they're doing. It was very interesting, and I appreciate Psycho 2 a lot. And then all the other sequels, don't bother. And the remake, let's talk about that for just a minute, okay? Gus Van Sant, like, okay, I made Good Will Hunting, now I'm gonna do this. I don't know, I've heard theories, I listen to Now Playing Podcasts, they have a big theory about how he was basically doing a postmodern commentary on the fact that it's exactly the same except for needless bullshit to prove a point that when Hollywood remakes things it is needless. And back in 1998, that almost might be too soon. It's like, if he made the remake to Psycho in like 2016, and it was the exact same movie but now in color, that might be a good, like, that would kind of prove a point. They are always just kind of the same, adding needless bullshit. But I don't know if I fully buy into, he went and made the same movie, just, alright, and then when she gets stabbed, we're gonna see like a sheep and like random imagery, and then when Norman's spying on her in the bathroom, he's Vince Vaughn like, it actually didn't even take that long. I think he finished in about 15 seconds, so Norman's pretty sensitive, that one. But yeah, it stars Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates, and when I first saw it, I was quite a bit younger, and I did a whole review saying, this movie's pretty good, underrated, I would say. And it's like, Vince Vaughn, it's miscasting, because the guy works in good comedies, like Dodgeball or something. Love Vince Vaughn, but overall it's just, he's not the best in the world, and putting him, trying to replace Anthony Perkins with him, admirable that he's trying, and he's not awful, but it's just, it's so not nearly as great. It's just kind of, well, you tried and you failed. And then, my god, trying to replace Janet Leigh with whatever her name is, I can't even remember her name, Anne Heche, fucking awful. And they had Julianne Moore in the movie. Julianne Moore would have actually been good for the lead. Fucking Anne Heche sucked. But you do see her butthole, according to Kevin Smith. When she dies in the shower, you see her asshole. And maybe that's worth watching the movie for if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, it's the same damn movie in color. We just add some jerking off, some random imagery. It's just, God, it's awful. It is actually probably one of the worst remakes. And if you think it is a postmodern take, commentary on how remakes are the same shit with just worse and adding needless stuff, you can take it as that. I just take it as a shitty movie. But back to talking about the Hitchcock one, it's amazing in every way possible. Great acting, good characters with the two main ones anyway. Janet Leigh and Anthony Perkins, captivating, awesome, great twists. I can't really, like, saying it now, it's like, yeah, obviously, great twist, but thinking about just being back in the 60s, that would have blown your melon. This is the iconic grandmother to all horror movies that came after it, and there was horror movies before it for sure, but this is like the modern slasher horror type thing. It's the grandma, it's the mother to all of them. Mother, I love you. So, the movie, iconic, legend. It's like I'm not adding anything new to the conversation really. Everything great that could be said about it has been. So, yeah, Psycho. Take a guess real quick, we're gonna rate it. I'll give you 5 seconds. I would give Psycho an A+. It's a legendary, amazing movie. And don't think I'm saying it just to say it. Watch the movie. It proves it to you every scene. Hitchcock's directing, the music, the acting. It all says it. Psycho is perfect. It is brilliant. Don't take that for granted. If you haven't watched it, you gotta watch it. This movie's iconic and legendary for a reason, and it still holds up to this day as a great, amazing movie. So comment below, tell me your thoughts on Psycho, and the remake if you want. Tell me, did you like that? Did you like Vince Vaughn? But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.